Good morning, everyone. Mr. Jim here again, outside for our science experiment of the week. And today is going to be sort of a quick video, but this one experiment is actually going to take a couple days for you to do, but it's relatively easy ingredients. All you're going to need is an egg, a jar, and some vinegar. Just plain, regular white vinegar. Now, this experiment is going to be turning the regular hard egg that normally if I were to squeeze it in my hand, it would crack. But you notice this egg looks a little bit weird. It's actually a little squishy, because this egg I have dissolved all of the shell off of. So in here I have an egg that still has the shell on it mostly. So you need a little container that you can submerge an egg into. Fill it up with just a regular white vinegar. The egg will sit there and you want to leave it for about 3 days. You can leave it a little bit more. You might be able to do this a little bit less, but generally 3 days is how long it's going to take this vinegar. It will actually dissolve the calcium, dissolve that outer shell of the egg, and what you are left is actually with the membrane, because underneath that hard calcium shell there's a slightly flexible barrier that still keeps the egg nice and protected. If you ever cracked an egg open, you might be able to notice some of this little membrane in there is still attached there, but in this case we have just dissolved the hard shell completely, and now we have this little membrane. So this shell, this egg that's actually in here still, was in the same jar as this. These were together. Just this one, after 3 days, if you run it underwater, you get off the little tiny little bit of layer of the calcium that's on there. It rubs off and you're left with the bouncy kind of squishy egg here. Now you can notice, actually perfect right in the sunlight here, the yolk is still in there. As I move it around, the yolk will move it around. This is a way you can see an egg a little bit differently than you would normally see one. However, I will warn you that if you grip it too hard, it is a little bit bouncy, but it is still an egg, and if you squeeze it, it will erupt, and then you're left with just the membrane here. So this is just what the egg is encased in. You have the membrane, keeping the yolk and all the other fluid nice and safe, and then you have the shell as an extra layer of protection. So give this experiment a try, test it out. Like I said, you might want to do it outside if you're actually squeezing the egg, because you do get some egg on your hands. It's a little messy, but it's a fun experiment to do. So take a couple days, get a spare egg, put it in some vinegar, see what you can do. You can roll it around, bounce it. Remember, if you squeeze it, it's going to pop. All right, have a good one, everybody.